Me again. What I've done is I've propped up the phone so I'm hands-free. Good, isn't it? Hello, welcome to another Facebook Live. I'll move my chair so you get my big fat face close up. Hello, Mavis. Hi, Samantha Campbell. Woo, she says. Jodie Edwards, they're loving it. They're loving it. Stephanie Gentle, hi. Tune in. Tell your friends. See, I've already sort of built a little studio. Well, actually, what it is I've just propped my thing on some old paints. I don't know, what's it called? Cabinet. Case. Hopefully I could get one of those wherever I am, and then I'm in a studio every day at 6. See, I'd never have to go on a chat show again to promote my stuff. I mean, I actually haven't done like a press interview for years because of you guys on Twitter and Facebook and everything. So that's good. Save it for very important things. It's just sort of like talking to the fans direct from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I've got nothing against the press, but you know, sometimes you are misquoted. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Just do it on Facebook, Twitter. Say, hello, I've got a show coming out. I did one interview once, right? This is true. About 4 or 5 years ago. It was for a posh paper as well, one of the Sundays, posh UK paper. I thought, you know, they could be a bit, you know, snidey, but they're fair. You know, there's a certain level of journalistic integrity, you think, and sometimes, you know, it's about them as much as you. They want to make, but I thought that'd be fine. With profile piece, I had some DVD coming out or some telly program, so I thought, yeah. So, I went along to my office, and my PR person was there, and the photographer turned up, and we were waiting. As you know, I hate lateness. So eventually, my PR person called the journalist, and she went, "Oh no, I thought it was tomorrow." "No, it's today. The photographer's here and everything." She went, "Oh no. Oh, can we do it tomorrow?" We went, "No, it's busy tomorrow." And so he said, "Look, we've got to do a phoner. We'll have to do it on the phone now." She went, "Well, I can't do it now." "Oh, God. I'll call you later." So, I went, okay, so I went home, called her, and she went, "Oh, sorry about that." She went, "Oh, I wanted to meet you in person." I went, "Oh, yeah, sorry about that." She went, "Because my friend did an interview with you, and he said it was really good." That was odd, wasn't it? Mainly social. So anyway, we did the interview. It was all right. And I said, "Oh, we could do a bit longer if you want, as it's not face to face." She went, "Oh, cheers." So the interview comes out in the paper. It starts off, "I went to Ricky's office. He leaned back in his chair." She pretended she was there. His body language said he did not want to do this. He was combative. What? So I don't know why. Why was she lying? I didn't know whether it was she'd already written it and she'd sort of, you know, wanted to do this sort of psychological piece, or she was scared that her boss would find out that she missed. It's got the wrong day. But she went on about it, just making up things about how I was sitting, what my office was like, and also, if you're going to make stuff up, and there's a chance that I might blow the whistle and go, "She wasn't even there, it's all made up," you think she'd be at least flattering in her stuff she'd made up. She wasn't. She was slagging off the office, saying my body language was funny. And then she went, "The photographer arrived." Gervais looked relieved. And then she said, "But he liked my interview so much, he insisted we did longer." Bigging herself up. So, there you go. So, yeah. So now, truth, the horse's mouth. Cheers. You can take a horse to beer, you can make him drink. So yeah, this can be with all my PR from here. Sitting down, drinking beer. I can go, I got a DVD out. Do you remember them? DVDs? Like the olden days. Oh yeah, Derek box set next. And the special. Not till autumn or fall if you're in America. What else? That's about it, really. Sort of doing this for the sake of it. Oh no, I'm not. I'm doing it so I don't ever have to do another chat show or press interview. What beer is that? Foster's. I like a refreshing beer. I've got some Belgian beers. They're a little bit strong. Ollie wouldn't come. Bit annoying. I'll try and get a... Ollie! The call of the brush. Ollie! See, that was the idea, being hands off. I could pick up Ollie and let her say hello. Oh, look how thin I'm going in the light. Oh, that's dreadful. Seriously. What can I do? I don't know. I don't get bald there, do I? Yeah, so, Facebook Live. Said I could do a quiz. Oh, go and get the guitar. Hold on. Remember this one? Doesn't make sense though. It's me. Me singing these songs are demented because they're David Brent songs. Well, it'd be odd. Me singing a song called Lady Gypsy. Imagine I'm David Brent. Let me get into character. There you go. Kings of Convenience. Just love that. Can't stop playing them. So good. How are you? Good. I've got some questions. We'll race through it. I'm putting it closer to me. Because of my eyes. I'm reading off the laptop. First one. Charlie the black cat. Uncle Ricky, would you rather have 2 legs that are cat legs or 2 arms that are cat arms? Well, what are we talking here, Charlie? Are they my sized cat arms? Like, are they cat arms the size of my arms? Or are they just literally cat arms? Like 2 little sticks that I can't do anything with anyway. Let's assume they're otherwise, because I wouldn't be able to stand up. If I had 2 cat legs, I'd just collapse, wouldn't I? And I'd just be on my arse and again. So if I had cat arms, I could walk around, I could pat things and scratch things, but I couldn't play the guitar, could I? Or tweet, or hold a fucking comb, or if I had assuming I could stand up on Ricky leg size cat legs, I'd have my arms and big old, let's say lion's leg. I have lion's legs and my arms, and I could do everything. Fucking stupid, isn't it? This. Dutch barn. Question 2. Adriana,
would you like to write, act and direct a film? If yes, do you have a subject in mind? Well, I've done a couple. I've written and directed and acted in Invention of Lying, Cemetery Junction. I wasn't a star. Starred in Ghost Town. Didn't write it. David Brent, Life on the Road. Special Correspondence. Would I do another one? Maybe. I'm not as excited about doing a film at first. Well, the guts has been ripped out of Hollywood. It's still nice to do a film, I guess. Maybe a Netflix film, but it's not the same. So I think TV overtook film, really. It's just the most compelling. You can get, a box set series. You can absolutely get lost in and look forward to it every day and every night. But if I had an idea that could only be a film, like I didn't think it was a series, I enjoyed doing that short film. It was only one day's filming. A lot of my decisions are based on laziness, effort, etc. But yeah, I would do. I don't know. I'd like to do maybe a horror would be good, or set up some sort of franchise, some sort of weird horror or monster movie, or sort of not a spoof, but a deconstruct a superhero, like a really screwed up superhero. I don't know. I haven't thought about it because I think in terms of series now, stand up and series. I don't think of film anymore, but it's great fun though. It's great to do. Hard work as well. It's a lot of hard work for like 90 minutes. It's about as much work as for a series. For some reason, I don't know why. I suppose I don't know why. Because I could film an hour and a half of series in 3 weeks, but a film always takes 6 or 7 weeks. I think everyone wants paying more. I don't know. What's this? Julia, Uncle Ricky. I've done that one. Fucking hell, my eyesight. Louise, happy birthday for Tuesday. All those 63 years ago, when your parents welcomed you into the world, what were the most important values they instilled in you? And were they also comedy storytellers? Only like everyone is. I don't think they're particularly. We didn't sit around a fire telling ghost stories or folk tales. What are they instilling in me? I think sort of work hard and pay your way. A big thing growing up was like, I don't know if it's an old-fashioned value. It's probably still there, but being a scrounger, not paying your way, that was like a big thing. I remember that was that he doesn't buy a round, or he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like he lives off his mum. He lives. It was always about people not pulling their weight, which is probably quite evolutionary, isn't it? That is probably group selected. Like when we were tribal and hunter-gatherers, you would have been rejected. No one would go, yeah, he doesn't feel like working this year. So it was that, really. It was, having worth, having status by. It didn't matter what you did. No one said, "Oh, he's better than him. He's a doctor. He's a road sweeper." It would be. It more likely to be that doctor's a scrounger. He doesn't work. That the road sweeper he worked really hard. So I think that was certainly a value. That's the only one I can think of at the moment. But there were probably loads, weren't there? Would you rather always have BO and not know it, or always smell BO on everyone else? Well, obviously, that's horrible, isn't it? I'm suffering, but I know what I think of other people who don't fucking wash. So I couldn't... If you asked me now, I'd choose to be disgusted by everyone else who stank and know that I didn't. Horrible, isn't it? BO is horrible, isn't it? Because I don't think, they might be working hard. Do you know what I mean? They might be sweating because they're working hard. It's old BO. That's the worst bit. You go, they were sweating yesterday and they put the same fucking shirt on. But also I think that when you're smelling something, that is going into your nose and lungs, isn't it? I might as well be... I'm imbibing their fucking sweat. It has to be that one though, because I don't think I could go... Because people would treat you differently, wouldn't you? I think you are treated... If I stank all the time and everyone smelled, and everyone was going, fucking hell, Ricky Gervais stinks of BO, it wouldn't be good for me, would it? So, I'd have everyone else stink, and everyone go, I tell you who smells nice. I tell you who doesn't stink of BO like every other fucker. That Ricky Gervais. A very clean person. 2 baths a day or 2 showers, me. I can't stand it. I can't even understand. After I've had a pear or if there's a bit of juice, I have to wash it off. I'm not a germaphobe. I just don't... I like feeling clean. I look like shit, but I'm clean and I smell nice. Oh, God. Again, there is no way George Clooney is having this fucking conversation. Ever. Keena, your birthday is coming up. Any plans? I'm working, Keena. I'm working on my birthday. It's Tuesday. Thanks for asking. And I'm working. I'm actually doing the first day of a new project for Netflix, which I've been secretly working on for a year. And the first day fell on my birthday. Then I'm going to watch England and have some vegan cake and wine, probably red wine. Should I have champagne? I know you're thinking, Rick, go, Rick, you should be having champagne, you deserve it. I'll have red wine, thanks. No, I'll have some champagne, Rick. I don't want fucking champagne. We've run out of red wine. I'll have champagne. Ginger Ann, who is your favourite German philosopher and why? Well, I've got an answer for this. I actually know. I don't know why. Why? Because I don't know. It's Nietzsche. Why? I think he annoyed a lot of people in his day. I think he a bit of a maverick. He said some stuff. He said, to live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in that suffering. That's good, isn't it? I think it is. Nietzsche. Or Nietzsche, as Americans say. Sharon Collins. Which has been your favourite Dutch Barn advert to date? It was the last one. I worked towards it. I was really excited. I loved them all. I love the ones with Antley. I love the ones with Red Richardson. They're all fun. But I think the one about Paul Cornish is my favourite because it's so crass and pointless, and it shouldn't be an advert. It's nothing to do with Dutch Barn and vodka. It's nothing to do with anything. I like the idea of that character, which is me, doing an advert for something that's his own company, and then just changing the subject and talking about a bloke who sucked off a businessman for a sandwich. When I was writing that, I was thinking, he sucked off a businessman once for some bread. I thought that was funny, but I thought it was trying too hard. I just think I'd make it realer. But I've never seen that in an advert before. So that one, basically, as they've all been banned from the telly, I think we found one that we might be able to put on telly if we change one little thing. I've done some new ones as well. That's what I was doing last week. I did lots of new ones, about 10 or 12. Again, most of them can't get on television. I knew that at the time, but I think this is funnier. And I know that it won't get on telly, but this is funnier. That Emmy looks like I'm wearing a weird fucking hat, doesn't it? Like I'm in some sort of weird Masonic lodge and I'm in charge. Well, look good, that, isn't it? Emmy voting was last couple of weeks. I've got no chance. But did I tell you this? If Armageddon would won an Emmy, it won't. It'd be the first ever stand-up to win an Emmy and a Golden Globe. But I'm only halfway there, so it's like, well, yeah. Why even talk about it? Sue, if you made a new series of extras and could have any guest star from all time, who would you get and what would you have them do? That's a good one, that, isn't it? We missed out a lot, didn't we? If I think of the ones that have happened sort of since extras, Mel Gibson would be good, wouldn't he? With all the stick I've given him over the years. Will Smith could deconstruct that. Just have him slapping people. Getting trouble. Will, you've got to stop slapping people, mate. They said my wife's name. Well, yeah, they're allowed to. They were calling her. She was next in the queue. Yeah, but they should keep her fucking name out there. No, but they were just... She was in the delicatessen and they called her name because she was next to get some ham. Yeah, well, I had to slap him. Kevin Spacey, we asked at the time. I don't think he wanted to do it. Justin Timberlake. He's been in the news. I did a tweet, I don't know if you know, it sort of went viral and it even made the newspapers, that when he was arrested for drunk driving, I sent him a tweet saying, as a joke, this didn't happen. It happened that I sent him this tweet, but I didn't really send him any Dutch Farm vodka. I just went, did you get that bottle of Dutch Farm vodka I sent you? That's the joke. And it went mad. I did think of a joke. I wouldn't tweet it. It'll be too late to do it live. It's a bit harsh. I could do this to the Golden Globes. Right, this is it. It's a stupid joke. It's a pun. The joke was, if Justin Timberlake goes to prison, he's going to hear the words sexy back a lot more often. Oh, there you go. Gwen, have you ever listened to the dubbing voices you've been given for your series and films in other countries? And if so, how awkward was it? I have once. It was years ago, about, 15 years ago. We were in Spain on a little holiday and I saw Ghost Town in Spanish and I listened, I'd been overdubbed and the bloke doing me sounded exactly like me speaking Spanish, which is incredible. For me to think that, it just sounded, I just thought that's me, but speaking Spanish. I think now they can do it with AI. Now they can make me, like they'd record me speaking English and AI turns it into Spanish, and it sort of lip syncs it. So it looks like the actual actor speaking Spanish or whatever. It's amazing, isn't it? John Cleese says a story that he has the same guy sort of do him in one country, Italy, say, and he was in Shrek, which is a cartoon. So in those countries where someone else voices John Cleese and it's a cartoon, John Cleese isn't even in it, but he still gets the credit. He's not in it visually, and he's not doing the audio, which is weird. Jeannie, you're lying on the couch and one of these crawl across your face. A spider, a cockroach, or a rat. Which is the worst? The spider. I wouldn't care about the other two. In fact, if a cockroach walked past, I'd jump, because I'd think it might be a spider, and then I see it was a cockroach, I go, oh, on your way. Not a problem. If I do that and it's a spider, oh my Christ. I wouldn't care about anything else crawling across my face. A leper, maybe. I go, what are you doing in my house? Shouldn't you be in the Bible? Is this your... Yeah, I wouldn't mind a rat, anything. Just so many spiders. Just spiders. Get the fuck off my face. Spider. Talking about my face. Look at my red, fat, old, sweaty. Oh, God. I mean, the light in here is not great, but fucking hell. I've had a good innings. Kidala? Would you rather have a ball bag? Fuck's sake. Would you rather have a ball bag where your nose is, or a nose where your ball bag is? So, well, it's that one, isn't it? Because no one knows. No one... I could walk around like that, and then I just haven't got... So I've got a nose, which I'd fucking keep well private. It's got to be that one. I think I'm just going around with a ball bag for a nose. And a ball bag. You got two ball bags. So it's two noses, I guess. Just because, again, I think you could have a normal life, relatively, if you had a nose, as opposed to weird balls. Keep your pants on in all situations. You know what I mean? No one would know. I wouldn't accidentally go to a fucking beach, would I? Oh, fuck, everyone knows about the nose now. This has been particularly bollocks, isn't it? Always ends with bollocks. Richard, would you rather have 6 foot legs and 1 foot arms, or 1 foot legs and 6 foot arms? There's no advantage to 6 foot arms, is there? Is there? I suppose boxing. But I'd be I've 1 foot legs. So not 5 foot. Say I've got 3 foot legs. So I'd be 3 foot. So I'd be 2 foot shorter. So I'd be. Is that right? I'd be 3'8" with 6 foot arms. Would that be good? Would that be good for boxing? I don't know if it would, because you've got to stabilise with those. I don't know an advantage. I'd do a lot of pull-ups, couldn't I? Because I'd be. But then what's the advantage in that? On a beach, showing off. And people wouldn't be going, God, he can do a lot of... They go, fuck me, what is that freak? Got fucking... Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Yeah. I'd have 6 foot arms and 1 foot legs. What the fuck? What's the point of that? I mean, it'd be like a mega orangutan, wouldn't it? Or 6 foot legs and 1 foot arms. See, 6 foot, so 6 foot legs, so I'd be 3 foot taller. So I'd be 8 foot 8. 8 foot 8, but with 1 foot arms. This can't be that one. I mean, being 8 foot is just ridiculous. There's no, that's terrible. And 1 foot arm, that's the worst. I'd have to have 1 foot legs and 6 foot arms. They'd drag on the floor, wouldn't they? I mean, it would be ape-like, I suppose, wouldn't it? But, like, mega. It's got to be that one. Fuck's sake. Right, there you go. What a load of bollocks that is. It says what it does on the tin, doesn't it? Enjoy the rest of the Euros. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
Now, I am no defender of Trump, but I'm no defender of lousy, bent journalism either. And I'm sorry, that Panorama documentary was lousy, bent, dishonest journalism. But we should all be ashamed of it.
Trump was a defender of the Proud Boys and white supremacists.
You're ignoring the facts, Kevin.
You were taking, right, you were taking a 12 to 15 second clip in a full programme, programme that was broadcast a year ago, and I'm not aware of any big public complaints about it.
No, because it played for our
3.5 years
we all
previously,
think that Trump
and ignoring all the other evidence.
The reason that there were no complaints...
They should not...
The reason there were no complaints about that edit were because people didn't spot it. And the reason they didn't spot it was because we all, mostly, think that Trump did incite violence on Capitol Hill. So to see that edit simply confirmed our prejudice.
We're talking about an error of judgment. I mean,
Massive.
you call it a lie. And I would say they were doing it probably for dramatic effect, and they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. You know, why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it, and their top echelon.
Director General and the CEO
This
both
is
resigned.
within one of our great allies. You know, this is supposedly our great ally, BBC. The government has a chunk of that one, I guess, but that's a pretty sad event. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech, and they made it sound radical. And they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. But it was very dishonest, and the head man quit, and a lot of the other people quit. Where are you from?
BBC.
Okay. Here's another beauty.
It's a good line. Impartial, free and fair.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that criticism of the BBC and John Sopel, who was talking to there, apparently was well-founded, because the so-called impartial and accurate public service broadcaster is nothing but.
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President...
Because tonight the BBC is facing serious questions over its credibility after the Daily Telegraph exposed a Panorama segment that heavily doctored a speech by the American president in 2021, hours before the infamous January the 6th Capitol riot. As you're about to hear, the corporation spliced together two quotes 1 hour apart to make it seem like he encouraged an insurrection.
Played the following clip.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all. The BBC spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart. So let's go through it again.
We're going to walk down
to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between Capitol and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later that he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we fight. We fight like hell.
I did one interview once, right? This is true. About 4 or 5 years ago. It was for a posh paper as well, one of the Sundays, posh UK paper. I thought, you know, they could be a bit, you know, snidey, but they're fair. You know, there's a certain level of journalistic integrity, you think. And sometimes, you know, it's about them as much as you. They want to make... But I thought that'd be fine, a profile piece. I had some DVD coming out or some telly programme, so I thought, yeah. So, I went along to my office, and my PR person was there, and the photographer turned up, and we were waiting. As you know, I hate lateness. So eventually, my PR person called the journalist, and she went, "Oh no, I thought it was tomorrow." "No, it's today, the photographer's here and everything." She went, "Oh no. Oh, can we do it tomorrow?" We went, "No, it's busy tomorrow." And so he said, "Look, we've got to do a phoner. We'll have to do it on the phone now." She went, "Well, I can't do it now." "Oh, God. I'll call you later." So, okay, so I went home, called her, and she went, "Oh, sorry about that." She went, "Oh, I wanted to meet you in person." I went, "Oh, yeah, sorry about that." She went, "Because my friend did an interview with you and he said it was really good." That was odd, wasn't it? Mainly social. So anyway, we did the interview. It was all right. And I said, "Oh, we could do a bit longer if you want, as it's not face-to-face." She went, "Oh, cheers." So the interview comes out in the paper. It starts off, "I went to Ricky's office. He leaned back in his chair." She pretended she was there. His body language said he did not want to do this. He was combative. What? So I don't know why was she lying? I didn't know whether it was she'd already written it and she'd sort of, you know, wanted to do this sort of psychological piece, or she was scared that her boss would find out that she missed, that's got the wrong day. But she went on about it, just making up things about how I was sitting, what my office was like. And also, if you're going to make stuff up, and there's a chance that I might blow the whistle and go, "She wasn't even there, it's all made up," you think she'd be at least flattering in her stuff she'd made up. She wasn't. She was slagging off the office, saying my body language was funny. And then she went, "The photographer arrived." Gervais looked relieved. And then she said, "But he liked my interview so much, he insisted we did longer." Bigging herself up. So, there you go. So, yeah. So, now, truth. The horse's mouth. Cheers. You can take a horse to beer, you can make him drink. So, yeah.
I said all along to you, and many of you laughed, I began to get shadow banned and strangulated because I said so, that the 2020 presidential election in the United States was rigged. I said all along that January 6th, which was in any case no more than a particularly rumbustious night on Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow, far from being an insurrection, it was an after-closing time brawl in Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow. I told you it was a state provocation. I told you it was a continuation of the Russiagate hoax, which destroyed Trump's first presidency and was the proximate reason for the rigging of the presidential election that put him out. I said all along to you that Joe Biden could not possibly have polled 82 million votes. Simply impossible. He campaigned from a basement. He was already semi-senile and perfectly visible for anyone who was paying attention. I told you that when I went to bed, Trump was winning. And when I woke up, Joe Biden had beaten him like a drum, had beaten him by a landslide.
I think the problem that the BBC has had is this happened a year ago. And an apology should have been made instantly. If a mistake has been made, you've got to apologise instantly. And then I don't think Tim Davie or the head of news would have had to resign, because they would have corrected the mistake immediately. It went unreported, unacknowledged, unapologised for. And I think that is where trust becomes an issue.
And the thing that worries me most about how this has all unfolded is the fact that when Donald Trump got involved and called the BBC corrupt, that we've had these 2 resignations overnight, and we've now had his press secretary claiming this as a victory for Trump. Now, the BBC belongs to Britain, and I think we should all be concerned whether it's foreign powers or indeed domestic powers, and we know that there are the likes of Farage and Reform who would love to see the BBC destroyed. That really worries me, because we cannot see the Trumpification of our politics and our media landscape. We've seen what that's done in America. So this is a moment for the BBC to reset and restore trust.
Panorama is a standing disgrace to journalism and to the British people. It has been used as the sewer over and over again to feed the bilge required to build the narrative that the British state wanted to build. It destroyed Jeremy Corbyn's chances of becoming the Prime Minister of Britain. That very show, the Panorama, which accused Corbyn and Labour under Corbyn as a cesspit of anti-Semitism, when nothing could have been further from the truth. But that was Corbyn. The British state was very keen to see the end of Corbyn, see the end of any possibility of a real Labour government. This time, it's much more serious. This time, Panorama has been caught splicing Donald Trump's speech on January 6th to falsely accuse him of directing the events of January 6th, when the truth was the complete opposite. When the truth was that Trump told everyone to go home peacefully. They twisted, as they had twisted so many things, from the miners' strike through Corbyn and now Trump. They twisted and spliced and edited and re-edited a speech that had Trump saying the precise opposite. That's much more serious because, well, Trump rules Britain. Trump is the president of NATO, the president of Western Europe, the president of the United Kingdom. And when the BBC was caught out falsifying the words of their own president for their own twisted, centrist narrative, they had to go.
Do we agree, Prime Minister, that nobody should be left feeling, as Cat Smith has just described, that they would be better off dying between now and next April?
No, of course. But governments have to bring about sensible reform.
I think Starmer's one of the worst prime ministers we've ever had, and he's only been with us 81 days. But look what he's done in those 81 days. He's allowed the Chancellor to go ahead with a scheme where 4,000 pensioners could freeze to death this winter, and those are Labour figures, by the way, not Tory figures, OK. He's introduced a raft of policies like energy, which could make us dependent on overseas energy ad infinitum, so dictators around the world will control what we have in this country. Never mind the sleaze. I mean, goodness gracious, he stood up in the Commons once, looked across the box at Boris Johnson and said, sleaze, sleaze, sleaze. There's never been a sleazier Prime Minister. Never been a sleazier Prime Minister.
Then Keir Starmer.
Never.
So what makes you call him sleazy? Sleazy's an interesting word for you to use.
Well, if you're walking around in other people's suits to try and improve your image, I saw one...
Well, it's his suit. It's just paid for by somebody else.
I reckon he was a useless lawyer, a boring, useless public sector lawyer. Boring, useless public sector lawyer.
A lot of public interest cases, and then he served
boring,
useless, public prosecution. Where he changed the approach, so they started prosecuting grooming gangs.
Adenoidal boys, incapable of thinking on his feet.
He is actually. I think in there is a decent man, quite amused,
Really?
right sense of humour.
I don't think Lou Hague thinks so, the Transport Secretary sacked. I don't think Angie Rayner, the former Deputy Prime Minister, thinks he's decent. I think they think he's treacherous, disloyal, doesn't believe in anything, doesn't believe in anybody, throws people under a bus because he's useless.
Do you think society could survive if everyone was kind, generous and thoughtful? Or do we need ruthless bastards to drive industry and make the difficult decisions? I don't know. I don't think you have to not be kind and generous and thoughtful to make difficult decisions, do you? You know, it's kind to decide to have your pet put down. It's a terrible decision, but it's kind. It's a kind decision. So I don't think those two are in conflict. But I know exactly what you mean. I think naturally we probably are kind and generous and nurturing, but we developed our intelligence was sort of relied a bit on violence because we didn't have the tools, did we, to defend ourselves. So we had to come up with cunning, evil fucking ways to catch stuff and eat it. So, but I think naturally we probably are generous and nurturing too, you know. We had to be really kind and generous and nurturing because we didn't have the tools and we had to look after our young in a scary place. But I mean, I don't know about politics. I think politicians have proved that it's nothing to do with doing what's right for most people now. Even if they start off going into it with good intentions, all the compromises, all the worries about trying to please everyone, they soon start, you know, not doing a great job. And now a lot of them have proved that they're blatant. They're in it for themselves. So, I don't know. I think the utopia you're talking about probably is possible, but yeah, I think there's always a few bad eggs, isn't there? Genius, Rick. What do you think about the world? There's always a few bad eggs, isn't there? Brilliant.
Do we agree, Prime Minister, that nobody should be left feeling, as Cat Smith has just described, that they would be better off dying between now and next April?
No, of course. But governments have to bring about sensible reform and take
sensible
measures
reform, absolutely.
But things like anti-forestalling clause, they are not unique to this situation. But on a human level, the answer to your question is, of course, not.
But last year, you told me that this was a policy that was just aimed at revenue raising, that it wasn't targeted at anybody in particular. We've now seen the anti-forestalling clause, and we know from Treasury's own figures that 75% of the £500 million that is expected to be raised from this will come from farmers who die over the age of 75. So, is it not the case that actually this is a targeted measure, and it is targeted at and it will affect those who are elderly, suffering from terminal illnesses over 75, and it doesn't matter if it's one farmer or 1,000 farmers. Surely you cannot be comfortable with that.
Let me just address the point that it's not targeted. It's not targeted at individuals.
Well, it was what you said last year.
It's not targeted, as I said last year. It's an economic reform which we took in the budget before last. Not targeted. It is to adjust the rate at which inheritance tax is, the fact that it's paid, the rate at which it's paid, and the period over which it is paid. But it's not targeted against individuals. I'm not arguing with you that there are therefore going to be individuals affected, as there are with any change in any tax regime. But there's a difference between changing the tax regime and targeting a group of individuals. This is about changing the tax regime.
The anti-forestalling clause that we've spoken about traps farmers into the new rules. It doesn't allow them the same opportunities that other taxpayers will have to use tax planning to manage their affairs in a sensible way that will allow the succession of family farms in this country.
That doesn't make it targeted. It is a necessary consequence of the decisions that we've taken. But I can assure you, as you would expect, the President of the NFU has raised this issue with me on more than one occasion.
Not just the President of the NFU.
Well, I appreciate that.
You've heard it from Cat Smith, you've heard it from my Select Committee, you've heard it from the Welsh Affairs Select Committee, you've heard it from the Northern Ireland Affairs Committee. These are all select committees, incidentally, that have majorities from the Labour Party, and they have all produced unanimous reports calling for this to be paused and rethought. You don't have to listen to me. You don't even have to listen to the farmers out there. You don't have to listen to the President of the NFU. But why do you not listen to your own party colleagues?
I do listen to party colleagues all the time.
And then do what you're going to do anyway.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carmichael.
They allowed him to evade questions like he does in Prime Minister's questions. Because what's interesting is, at the liaison committee, he admitted that jury trials won't actually help to solve the backlog. So he's ditching 800 years of our judiciary system and our freedoms just for, nothing. And he's also admitted that he knows of people who are terminally ill who may end up taking their life before the farm taxes actually come into place. So again, that wasn't in the manifesto, and they should be grilling him about it because it's broken promises that he wasn't actually promised in the manifesto, that he has no mandate to actually implement. And again, with the illegal migration, Labour MPs, they celebrated 28 days of no boats coming in prematurely, because after that we had 700 come in, and that's taken us over 40,000 legal migrants that came into the UK. So again, it's like we're having to rely on bad weather to keep us safe at border control. So where is our tax money actually going? Because it's appalling.
And Chris Rose, when you look at the makeup of the examiners today, 8 out of 12 from the Labour Party, 3 from the Conservatives, only 1 Liberal Democrat, and of course nobody from Reform UK. Does it sort of cast a sort of shadow of doubt over the entire point of these things? I mean, it's like 8 of your mates, giving you an end-of-year review. I mean, why bother?
That's the thing. I mean, we know that he's going to go soft with them. Keir Starmer doesn't like scrutiny. He even left the liaison committee early as well, because when he's held up to scrutiny, he doesn't like it at all. He doesn't like his pre-prepared questions taking another route. He can't think quick on his feet. I mean, Kenny Badenoch is actually running rings around him at Prime Minister's questions now as well. Even with journalists who used to support him, during the election last year, now that they're scrutinising him more, you can see the anger and his short temper coming out of him a bit. So he doesn't like it. So that's why they've picked, easy questions from, 8 of his mates instead of an actual grilling that he fully deserved. Looking at his popularity ratings, he really needs to be grilled, particularly by even his own MPs, because things aren't looking well for them at all, according to the polling. They're currently in 3rd place, 4th place, pushing down. And as you heard, as Reform now have more party members than Labour as well, because they've all drifted off to Green Party, whatever SAC is offering them. And, things aren't looking well. So I don't know why he doesn't want more scrutiny, because after the next local elections in May, I think they may move to actually get rid of him as leader, and certainly the Chancellor as well. So going ahead in easy mode is just bringing them, it's just delusional.